make Mayweather uncomfortable?
Oh, that's a good question there, David. Let's go to our next fight coming up. Is McJoe Arroyo, David Quijano. Let's go to our ring announcer. Actually, before we do that, here's 8th round of action. McJoe Arroyo, David Quijano, Dave. It should be a good one. Arroyo undefeated against Quijano.
Let's take a look at these guys and give you some kind of an overview as to how they come into this fight. These super flyweights, 28 for Arroyo, 27 Quijano. A little bit of a height advantage for Arroyo. We saw that help in our last fight. They reached just a little bit of an edge there. Arroyo with the numbers edge.
Now let's go to Joe Martinez in the ring.
Y ahora, aficionados, esta próxima pelea está pactada por 8 asaltos peso super mosca. And here we go, fight fans. 8 rounds, this scheduled in the super flyweight division. Presentando primero la esquina roja, con los pantaloncillos gris con negro y un peso de 115 libras. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing gray, trimmed in black, he weighed in officially 115 pounds. Con un récord de 15 victorias, 9 knockouts, 4 derrotas y un empate. His professional record stands at 15 victories, 4 defeats, 1 draw with 9 wins coming by way of knockout. Presentando el ex campeón OMB Latino Super Mosca. Here is the former WBO Latino Super Flyweight Champion de Caguas, Puerto Rico, David Quijano. Y su oponente en la esquina azul, con los pantaloncillos negro con plateado y un peso igual, 115 libras. His opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wears black, trimmed in silver, and also weighed in 115 pounds. Su récord, perfecto, con 13 victorias, 0 derrotas y 7 ganadas por nocaut. He is perfect in 13 bouts with 13 victories, including 7 big wins coming by way of knockout. De Fajardo, Puerto Rico, el invicto McJoe Arroyo.
Uno con él, vamos. Viene. Bueno, muchachos, ya yo les di instrucción en la esquina. Vamos a una pelea limpia. Que gane mejor. Suerte. Dios lo bendiga.
McJoe Arroyo, David Quijano getting ready to go in the super flyweight division, scheduled for 8 rounds. Our judges, Carlos Colon, Idalia Parra, Cesar Ramos. Our referee in the ring, Luis Pabon. McJoe Arroyo, 2008 Olympian in Beijing, has a twin brother named McWilliams, who was the flag bearer in Beijing. He's going against David Quijano from Caguas, Puerto Rico, 28-year-old against a 27-year-old. McJoe, the southpaw. Quijano with the black shoes says he's a southpaw, but he also mixes it up where you'll see him go right. So these two with a similar style for tonight's fight.
We'll see how they mix it up. The interesting thing for Arroyo is he's fighting the guy who lost to the best 115-pounder in Narvaez, and Narvaez captured a lopsided decision over Quijano. So for Arroyo, there can be a nice comparison if he's able to stop him, or if he wins a lopsided decision, he can be in that same kind of company, and maybe he has something to lobby with.
McJoe Arroyo and David Quijano, the small guys, but they both say they have some power behind it. Arroyo with 7 KOs. Quijano with 9 KOs. So you're weighing 115, 118 pounds, and you're knocking people out. You got some power behind those punches. Two are filling each other out here in the first round. McJoe Arroyo, the name, wondering why is it McJoe? Says father's name is Jose, and that's where he came from, as he's getting tagged by a left by David Quijano. McJoe Arroyo, undefeated fighter, quickness, and gets tagged again now by another left by Quijano.
And lefties almost always know that somebody has to adjust to them. For the right-hand fighter, it's an unusual stance and a lot of changes that they can perhaps take advantage of. But now, with Quijano coming out as a lefty, it takes all of that adjustment advantage away from Arroyo, and he has to fight a normal type of a bout. And it's interesting to see if he's going to keep changing.
And there he gets tagged twice by McJoe. Quijano switched to the orthodox for a little bit, gets tagged twice on the jaw, decided to go back to the southpaw. This time from the southpaw, he lands with that left. So staying southpaw has been advantageous for David Quijano. McJoe lands a hook.
I mean, one thing fighting as a lefty when you have a choice, it will open up a right hook for you if you happen to like that punch.
Working the body, McJoe, then he goes upstairs, swings and misses. Two just exchanging it. Little guys, but they're swinging big. Scheduled for 8 rounds. From the Coliseo, Ruben Rodriguez in Puerto Rico. Crowd has been fired up all day, watching the locals go after each other. McJoe Arroyo, David Quijano. Good fight in the super flyweight.
Good opportunities for Quijano early, the good left hand and the right. Now he uses the right as a right hook in that southpaw style. So if you make that choice, you become a right hook artist and your jab hand is your right hand.
Quijano wearing the silver trunks with the black stripes. McJoe Arroyo is black on the side, Joe on his side. So that's how you can figure him out with the white shoes. First time we've seen McJoe Arroyo in almost a year.
They last fought last April, and he blames politics not being able to get a fight. And the question is for you, when you face all that, you have to go to the gym still. You still have to become a champion in terms of your work ethic, and you have to battle that back. It beats some guys, and some guys overcome it.
He's in an 8-round fight with David Quijano. Quijano, another one who's saying his record doesn't indicate himself. He says he's only really lost twice because of 2 other losses. He has 4 total. He said he was robbed both times.
That's about right for the fighter percentage we talked to. About half of the losses are legit, and the other half, you know, I should not have lost. You know, the interesting thing we talk about with the time off is the idea of getting up in the morning, doing your road work, hitting the gym, doing all of that when there is no fight directly in front of you. That is an enormous emotional challenge.
He lands a good jab. Tonight's CompuBox stats are brought to you by ThrowdownFantasy.com. Draft fighters, track stats, and win.
And Quijano with a big number, 71-57 in terms of the punches thrown. They both landed 15. And if that was the number at the end of the fight, they would probably give it to Quijano on the aggressive numbers.
McJoe Arroyo has a twin brother, McWilliam. All they do, they said, is work out. They train together. They don't spar, but they train together. They run together. They diet together. They do everything together. So even though he talked about that year layoff, he was in the gym all the time. Here he is trying to work off some rust against David Quijano in the second round, scheduled for 8. He's been snapping some of those jabs. Less than a minute to go in the second round. As this time Quijano swings and misses. He was able to land it with effectiveness in the first, not here in the second. McJoe lands a nice right. This time he's looking more powerful. Good combination, good right from McJoe. Drop, has him on the ropes. Quijano stays on his feet. McJoe is working him. A big left, a big right. Still working him. McJoe Arroyo, as Quijano is trying to survive this round with 30 seconds to go, has taken some big shots from McJoe Arroyo, who is staying calm and working the body, swinging. Everything, a big right, another left. Swing and a miss for Arroyo, who's looking for that knockout punch with 15 seconds to go in the second.
Well, he is in deep water here. He may survive it, but he was really in deep trouble.
Less than 10 seconds to go. McJoe Arroyo looking good here. Has Quijano hurt? Quijano is going to survive the second round. What a round for McJoe Arroyo. This broadcast of Golden Boy on Fox is brought to you by Corona Extra, La Cerveza Más Fina, and O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Mírame rápido, no corras hacia atrás, porque él no puede pegar y con tus manos arriba, más nada, estamos dominando cómodo. No te desesperes, va a buscarlo, va a dar un golpe, ¿entiendes? Hazlo con calma con tu ya, no hay prisa. El que está golpeado es él, ¿entiendes? Vamos a trabajar.
McJoe almost closed the show with that big shot toward the end of round 2, and he saw the opportunity, and he went for it. Almost did put Quijano out, mixing things up. This is what you do when you get an opponent hurt. Roll the dice here, try to get him out, and he almost did.
McJoe Arroyo started boxing at the age of 12. He and his brother were playing basketball. The practice was canceled that day, so instead they went into the gym. They never went back to play basketball. They've been boxers ever since. And he hurt David Quijano in the second round. I don't know how Quijano was able to survive that one. Took some big shots in punishment. Only reason he didn't go down is because the ropes held him up.
Now, we've seen many fighters in that situation, Beto, never make it through the round. So that's a good credit for Quijano that he was able to get through and come out fresh here as if that did not happen. So we will see if Arroyo tries to jump back on that or if he tries to work into another opportunity.
Quijano switches to the orthodox stance and gets tagged by a left. That right eye is starting to swell up. His nose is a little bit busted, takes a left. As McJoe Arroyo working the body with a nice flurry. Good combinations from the 2008 Olympian.
And when you make a change in style the way Quijano just did, that's a bit of a concession speech as to what happened as a lefty. Yeah, he's respecting the power of Arroyo, especially that right hook, so he wants to take the right hook away by becoming a right-handed fighter here now, trying to double jab. Now he would have to worry about the left cross, but not the punch that nearly dropped him. And now he could also try for a lead right hand against the left-handed style.
Both fighters weighing 115 pounds. Arroyo 5'4", Quijano 5'2", and Arroyo just landing some nice heavy shots here in the third round after he hurt Quijano in the second. Quijano staying in the orthodox, gets tagged by a left and then the right. He has knots underneath both of his eyes, does Quijano. He's wearing the silver with the black trim. Arroyo snapping that jab. With ease now, he's landing his punches here in the third round. Staggers him again. Oh, left, another one. McJoe Arroyo is just teeing off right now on David Quijano.
And Quijano starting to show the mark of fatigue as well, as he's standing straight up and not able to react as quickly as he did before he got popped in round 2.
Quijano is feeling the power of McJoe Arroyo here in the third. He's taking some big shots. Now he switches back to the southpaw with 30 seconds to go in the third round. McJoe Arroyo fighting for the first time since April 20th of last year. Looks like he's shooking off that ring rust. Around that ring with confidence. Landing his punches with ease. There's 10 seconds to go, and he continues to come at it. McJoe Arroyo continues with the big shots, lands it right. Good round for McJoe Arroyo. And we're back at the Coliseo Ruben Rodriguez in Bayamon, Puerto Rico. McJoe Arroyo against David Quijano. Arroyo really hurt Quijano in the second round, who was able to stay standing because of the ropes. And Arroyo continues to look good here in the fourth round. Let's go to Jessica Rosales to see what he heard from Arroyo's corner.
Arroyo's corner knows that they hurt Quijano in the second, but they don't want to pressure him. They said that they want to take precaution and take their time. Now, if you guys notice in the third, McJoe tried to stay in the middle of the ring. That's where his corner told me that they want him to stay as they continue to execute their plan against Quijano.
So the time between rounds giving Quijano a little time to recuperate, and plus his adjustment in style. So he adjusted as well and stayed outside instead of going for the kill early in that round.
Yeah, McJoe Arroyo, the southpaw. McJoe Arroyo in the southpaw stance, undefeated, 13-0.
He continues to put the pressure on as a good straight left hand coming in from McJoe Arroyo, taking what is being offered to him right here. The right hook got taken away for a while with the adjustment in style, so he jabs for a while, tries something else. You may see him try to get back to that right hook later.
Quijano was hurt in the second, but looks like he's got his legs back underneath him here. Quijano silver with the black trim, black shoes. His favorite athlete, Pudge Rodriguez. He was a baseball player growing up. Got into boxing at the age of 12. After that, forget it, but he's always been a baseball fan. Pudge is his guy. And here he's in a battle.
This is a great area to love baseball, too.
Yeah.
So
without a doubt.
In great company there.
Quijano, better movement here, not getting his tag as much as he was in the second or third rounds. By McJoe Arroyo, the 2008 Olympian. His brother, his twin brother, McWilliam, in the corner. McJoe made the joke that the reason his brother is older by 14 seconds because he kicked him out. He said, I wanted him out. I wanted my own space. He's just taking my food. 30 seconds to go.
And that's how the fight started.
Good action now, but coming up Friday, we're going to be in Las Vegas. Ishe Smith, Ryan Davis from The Joint at the Hard Rock Hotel in Las Vegas. Good action, packed fights coming your way all the time from Golden Boy Boxing on Fox Sports 1. 10 seconds to go in the fourth round. McJoe Arroyo against David Quijano from Puerto Rico. McJoe undefeated, 13-0, looking good through 4.
Out here, the name you put on the side of your truck.
If the style takes away the right hand, go with the straight left hand, and McJoe Arroyo operating well on the fly, taking whatever is being offered to him by Quijano.
McJoe Arroyo, the black and silver, white shoes, the southpaw. Well, they're both southpaws, as David Quijano's been mixing up between orthodox and southpaw. This round, he comes out as a lefty. He gets tagged by a left. Quijano was hurt in the second round. Didn't go down, but he was held up by the ropes here.
Interesting and maybe a puzzling move here by Quijano to go back to a style in which he was tagged and then almost stopped in round 2. That's enormous confidence in that particular style, and I don't know if I would have done that if I was him. I would have stayed as a righty as he's trying to change things up a little bit, because he opened up an avenue that McJoe Arroyo likes with that right hook.
As Arroyo lands a couple of jabs, Arroyo's favorite boxers, Tito Trinidad and Oscar De La Hoya. He said those were his role models when he got into the fight game.
Arroyo has landed the heavy power punches in this fight, and so volume may be one thing, but the quality and intensity of Arroyo has been another.
Here you see McJoe Arroyo, 5th round, scheduled for 8. Hasn't fought in a year. All his fights except for his last one have been in Puerto Rico. He's a fan favorite, has a good following behind him, was excited to be on TV. He said he likes to show off, wants to be known in the United States also because he wants bigger fights. And when you're this size, you have to come in and you have to put on a show.
He's doing that here, and we're seeing some swelling around the left eye of Quijano. That's from the good jabs like that are being landed from this style here by McJoe Arroyo, and then he works the body as well. He's getting high quality shots on the inside. And the swelling is another reason why it's surprising that Quijano went back to being a lefty, because that opens him up for the shot that has now created swelling.
Quijano's actually starting to swell underneath both eyes, prominently underneath the left. 5th round scheduled for 8. McJoe Arroyo, David Quijano from Puerto Rico. Quijano is throwing some punches, but not much behind him. It's the first time we've seen Arroyo get on the ropes, and quickly gets off of him. 30 seconds to go in the 5th round. As now Quijano trying to stay in close, gets tagged. You see Quijano has his mouth open, breathing. As now he's getting worked the body. Arroyo goes upstairs. 15 seconds to go in the round. As Arroyo, McJoe Arroyo from Fajardo, Puerto Rico, continues to control this fight with David Quijano. Back in Puerto Rico, McJoe Arroyo, David Quijano. And David Quijano is a fighter who lost twice to Omar Narvaez in tough fights.
Yeah, and that's the top fighter generally regarded in the 115-pound division. So he's the barometer by which you want to measure yourself if you are Arroyo. You have a common opponent here, and Arroyo coming in at 13-0 with 7 knockouts, and number 10 in the junior bantamweight division, in a title that's now vacant. So he can try to lobby, make some noise for himself, some kind of connection. He might get into an optional title fight with somebody, but he would probably want to be a little more busy and not have a year off in between. So we may see a run for him.
Yeah, McJoe Arroyo is going up against a fighter in David Quijano, who's gone up against some of the bigger names. And these are the kind of fights that McJoe Arroyo needs to have if he wants to get on to the next level, eventually get into the championship talk in this division at 115. It's coming along nicely. He's 13-0 with 7 KOs.
Now, Quijano had a strange journey. He lost to Narvaez in a title fight, which is certainly understandable, and then he lost to a 7-0 guy. So, you know, the emotional level drops off when the stakes drop, and he's trying to fire himself up a little bit right here, but he's been nailed early in this fight, and Arroyo has been pretty sharp.
Yeah, Quijano went from being a contender, now he's a challenger coming in here. The kind of guys that McJoe Arroyo is going to learn a lot from, as he's doing tonight. 6 rounds, had him hurt in the second, was on the ropes. Quijano, the tough fighter, has shown that he can take a big shot, and he ate some leather in the second round, but he stayed up on his feet, and he continues to come after McJoe Arroyo. 2 eyes are really swollen, nose has been popped, but he continues to come.
And that shows a guy that's been good on the outside and popping his jab in there and being accurate with everything he is throwing.
Less than a minute to go in the 6th round. McJoe Arroyo, David Quijano. Yeah, Fajardo, Puerto Rico for Arroyo against Sky West, Puerto Rico for Quijano. 115 pounders. Because now he's warned to keep it up by referee Luis Pabon. A little low on the action here in the 6th round. 30 seconds to go. McJoe Arroyo's corner telling him to work. Here we go here with McJoe Arroyo.
And he's trying to be on the outside, doing a good job, is Arroyo. And it settled in a little bit as Quijano is a tough guy for him to stop. So he's been out to the outside, and he had a little bit of a lull in that round, but still won it.
McJoe Arroyo controlling this fight, trying to finish the round with a bit of a flurry.
You want to know the reason for the swelling? There's one of it, the good, stiff, hard jab into that eye area. And Arroyo has really been taking it to Quijano that way. And that's why all that swelling has materialized.
7th round scheduled for 8 has been all McJoe Arroyo. As Quijano comes out of the southpaw with the black shoes, Quijano has been mixing it up southpaw orthodox. Taking some punishment here from McJoe Arroyo, the 2008 Olympian.
Not surprised that there was a shift in styles early on by Quijano. I was surprised that he went back to being a southpaw after he had been nearly dropped that way. As a right-hander, he had done a little bit better, and he had a chance to get up and under and to try and get into some kind of an attack as a righty. Offensively, as a southpaw, it just hasn't been there for him. Even here when he comes in, he was squared up.
And there you see McJoe Arroyo just letting the hands go. Definitely a lot faster, fresher here as McJoe Arroyo continues to just dominate this fight right now.
Well, Arroyo is opening it up on the numbers too, 187 to 109, and look at the jabs landed. That is a landslide, 87 to 10. If this was an election, they would have had a concession speech already with that type of number. That's how good he has been in that department. We see it in the numbers and in the swelling.
And McJoe Williams asked him what was his best punch. It wasn't the jab. He said that hook. He said that hook comes with a lot of power, but he's landing that stiff jab with ease tonight. As he looks good here in the 7th round. Definitely a pep in the step of McJoe Arroyo here in the 7th. Scheduled for 8 against David Quijano.
Yeah, he did set a tone with that right hook in round 2, and it had a lot of pop, and he hurt Quijano, nearly stopped him in that 2nd round, and then he unfurled this jab display, which has been exquisite.
He showed the stats with the jab, and you can see the results on the eyes of David Quijano as both of them are starting to close up here in the 7th round. Good movement by McJoe Arroyo, the fighter who's fighting for the first time in over a year. Gets going there, he lands a left hook. Go to the body as the two clinch with 50 seconds to go in the 7th round. El Coliseo Ruben Rodriguez in Puerto Rico, Bayamon, exactly where we're at tonight. Juan Manuel Lopez in attendance. Monday night action, and you have a good crowd coming out, so you know the island loves their boxing.
Now, we've always gotten good crowds here and very good support. Yeah, Quijano, when he's coming forward, McJoe Arroyo can read everything he's doing because he's coming forward and not punching. So he closes the distance and then can't get off, and then Arroyo times himself and he gets off.
And there he's complaining of a headbutt. Referee tells him to keep going. Warns Arroyo a little bit. Closing seconds of the 7th round. We're going to get headed to the 8th and final round coming up. Arroyo, Quijano. Our main event coming up next against Jorge Romero. We're in the 8th and final round between David Quijano and McJoe Arroyo. Quijano was hurt in the 2nd round. Didn't go down, but he was on the ropes and took some punishment in the 2nd. McJoe Arroyo, the 2008 Olympian from Puerto Rico, he's undefeated with 7 KOs in his career. Looking to finish up the show.
He probably would have gotten long odds after round 2 that we would be here in round 8 with the way Arroyo hurt Quijano in that 2nd round. But the break and then the change in style, Quijano bought a little bit of time, and unfortunately for him, hasn't really been able to take enough advantage of it, especially in the jab department where he has been peppered. But he has been game, come back, made this a fight, and put out the best in Arroyo, too.
Good body shots by McJoe Arroyo. The two are clenching, and referee had to separate them. McJoe Arroyo has Joe on the side of his trunks. Quijano with the silver and black. 8th and final round. McJoe Arroyo coming out real aggressive here to start the 8th. His brother in his corner, has a crowd behind him. Quijano with his hands down. Our Jessica Rosales telling us that Quijano's corner asked him if they wanted to stop it after the 6th. He said no, so they sent him back out there, and now we are in the 8th.
And when the corner does that, they're also sending a message to the fighter that you're on borrowed time, though. You know, we're asking you, we're suspicious of it already, so we give you a little bit of rope now, but you need to do more for us not to stop.
You have to show us something here. And McJoe Arroyo continuing to control this fight. McJoe Arroyo wants to win a title. Doesn't everybody, but he said he wants to make a name for himself in the United States also. Wants to fight in the United States. Never done that, but tonight he's making an appearance all across the country. With less than a minute to go, the 115-pounders are just standing in the middle of the ring. It's been a good fight, mostly controlled by McJoe Arroyo. Never really been tagged here in this fight.
He showed us a lot of good foot movement and the hand speed to avoid the countering opportunities that would be presented for Quijano. And we've seen some good instincts and good alert decisions made by Arroyo.
30 seconds to go in the fight. David Quijano was hurt in the 2nd, got his legs back, showed a lot of heart. And there he gets tagged by a left. McJoe Arroyo looking good in his first fight in over a year. Closing seconds of the fight. Been a good one for McJoe Arroyo. The local kid is going to continue to stay undefeated as McJoe Arroyo comes out, puts on a show, and a good job for McJoe Arroyo. David Quijano shows a lot of heart, but not enough. It was all McJoe Arroyo tonight from Bayamon, Puerto Rico. And we're back in Puerto Rico. McJoe Arroyo, David Quijano put on a good show, 8 rounds, and our main event is coming up next. Michael, the Artist Perez, and he's standing right now with Jessica Rosales.
Thanks, Beto. Now, you were telling me that you did add some things into your training, focusing more on strength and conditioning. How will that give you the advantage tonight?
Huge advantage. I mean, I'm moving up. This is my 2nd fight at 140 pounds. So strength is something that you really need. I mean, moving up in weight. And I mean, I already had it. I just tuned up more. I mean, more stronger, more strength. And I mean, if you getting better in anything, I mean, it's better anyways. So.
And anything about your opponent tonight that you see as a challenge that you kind of need to focus in more on tonight?
No, I'm just gonna go out there and do me. Every single time, I mean, I'm concentrating, just doing what Michael does all the time. The fight comes out easy, so I'm just gonna continue doing what I do.
One last question. We've got a very excited crowd out there. How are you going to keep those emotions down, because they will be cheering for you very loudly?
Experience, you know. I've been in these positions before. I fought in Puerto Rico 7 times already, so I already know what they bring to the table and what the fans bring to these events. And I mean, I'm just blessed and grateful for everything.
Best of luck tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Michael Perez, our main event coming up next. And tonight's CompuBox stats are brought to you by ThrowdownFantasy.com. Draft fighters, track stats, and win. And there you see the final punch stats between McJoe Arroyo and David Quijano.
Backing up what we've been saying, he had 144 to 94 punches landed. He threw a lot more, percentage in his favor as well. He also cut Quijano down, swelled his eyes up, almost knocked him down. Big performance for McJoe Arroyo.
Yeah, McJoe Arroyo, David Quijano put on a good fight.
I think this will have to go McJoe Arroyo's way when we finally do get the announcements read, when they do all the tabulations. He's really done a very credible job in this and looked good after not having fought since last April. Overcame a couple of stamina barriers and looked strong at the end of the fight as well.
Well, let's go to our ring announcer now, Joe Martinez.
Y ahora, damas y caballeros, nos vamos a las tarjetas de los jueces y tenemos una decisión unánime. La señorita Idalia Parra anotó 80-72, 80-72. Y los jueces Colón y Ramos anotaron el mismo 79-73, 79-73. El ganador por decisión unánime, your winner by unanimous decision, McJoe Arroyo.
McJoe Arroyo. He improves to 14-0 with 7 KOs. He goes the distance tonight for the first time in more than a year. We see Arroyo in the ring look good tonight with a unanimous decision over David Quijano.
And he makes it look easy, a lopsided verdict for him as well. So he moves his record up and wins it the way you want to.